everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Film and TV channel. And I have a little movie review today, a comedy. This is called, a comedy. Today we're going to have a talk about the very excellent Mr. Dundee. Please, if you're new to your channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification so you know these vlogs are coming out. This is a review vlog. I do information vlogs as well, film, TV, drama, everything on the film and TV world. And if you do check the playlist, you'll see stuff on Manchester City, my football team as well. So if that's of any interest, or you know someone who might be interested, please point in my direction. I'll be very, very grateful. There's links on screen for Facebook and Twitter. I do check every couple of days, so your friend will follow me on there. I do friend and follow back, and a couple of small eBay shops there on eBay for DVD, old rare DVDs, movie posters, some in the background there, and obviously the odd board game, some at the top there. So if you get a chance to have a look at that, that'd be very nice of you to do that for me. And please, all your comments are very welcome, especially on this film. As I say, it's not doing very well on the ratings, this one, which is such a shame when you think of what it's about and who's in it. But there you go. We'll get into that anyway. We'll have a talk about that. It's not all downhill. It's not all bad, but yeah, quite interesting. So we'll let me know your comments anyway on this if you get a chance, if you've seen it or whatever. Obviously a lot of people have seen this already, but so I've just literally watched this, and yeah, interesting. Anyway, please, comments are welcome, and thumbs ups are nice as well if you can do that. Right, yeah, very excellent, Mr. Dundee. An hour and 28 minutes, so not too long, which is good. I don't like that some of these things that drag on too long. And it's Mr. Paul Hogan, of course, isn't it? He's reluctantly thrust back into the spotlight as he desperately attempts to restore his sullied reputation on the eve of being knighted. Yeah, I mean, obviously his reputation isn't sullied till he starts doing this this little film, obviously, for, you know, all went quite well before he tried to get out there again. Of course, it stars Paul Hogan as Paul Hogan, Jacob Elordi as Chase, Paul's son, Chevy Chase as Chevy, John Cleese as John, Olivia Newton-John as Olivia, and lots of little guest stars, etc., which is always a bit of a worry with things like this. I mean, the cast list just goes on forever, to be honest with you, and most of them playing themselves, obviously. Rotten Tomatoes, yeah, is it any good? These review scores are all at, what time is it now? 10 to 5. These are all at 3 p.m. UK time on the 5th of July 2021. So Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of just 14, that's 14% based on 21 reviews, and an average rating of just 3.9 out of 10, so not fantastic. The rotten reviews include Paul Burns from the Sydney Morning Herald. I nearly went old Cockney then, not Australian. The Sydney Morning Herald. Hogan tries to remain unruffled but appears to be amused and somewhat confused as his world crumbles. The satire is as laboured as his nonchalance. Yeah, can't disagree with much of that, Paul. Josh Bell from Crooked Marquee said, the 81-year-old Hogan, 81, well, good on him, seems about as eager to be playing his first feature film role in a decade as his fictional counterpart is to participate in potential Crocodile Dundee reboots. There you go. But there is fresh, yeah, we've got the fresh Jim Shembry from jimshembry.com. The film is a jumble of poor acting, clumsy plotting. This is a good one, don't forget. Weak production values. The direction is stiff and clunky. The film looks terrible with gaffs coming out of its ears. It's clearly a mess, yet despite everything, the stupid thing is, it's funny. Okay, well, to some extent. Audience rating, Rotten Tomatoes, only 33%, so again, not overly liked there. Metacritic, the other little site we'll look at, the film's got a weighted average score of just 24 out of 100. 24 out of 100. Which is hard to think because it's scoring anywhere between 25 and 40 out of 100. So obviously how it gets down to 24, I don't know. I'm a stat man, but that doesn't make sense to me. The Hollywood Reporter's Frank Scheck, he gave it 30 out of 100 and said, the most problematic aspect of the film is that Hogan displays none of the cheeky charm and charisma that made him an international star. Although still obviously in great physical condition, he mainly walks through the film looking tired and pained, he certainly does, as if embarrassed to be taking part in such such a laboured, self-reflexive exercise. On the other hand, you can't really blame him. No, I think that's fair enough. Internet Movie Database, Joe Public, is there any respite? Did the public like it? Did they warm to Paul Hogan? It's been a long time. I mean, yeah, I even liked Lightning Jacket. Everyone picks on that, but I quite liked it. Internet Movie Database scores for Joe Public, you, me, and everybody. 4.9 out of 10. So again, not quite as bad as the critics, but certainly nothing to shout home about. Twanster wrote an all-round great film, and he hit 9 out of 10. I thought I wanted to finish on a positive. 9 out of 10 from Twanster. Well, not finish on a positive, but at least put a positive in there. Critics are so out of touch with viewers. This was panned, but I failed to see why. It's a no-nonsense comedy with an iconic character returning at 80 years old. If you love the movies, I'd definitely see it. It's nothing epic, but it'll give you plenty of laughs. God bless. Yeah, I will finish. I'll have to finish on a low, because that's what most of the reviews are. Latin Fine Art wrote really not much there and gave it 4 out of 10 and said this could have been halfway decent. It could have been slightly funny. It could have been well written. It could have been well directed. It could have been entertaining. Frankly, I'm not sure what the purpose of the film was. It wasn't funny. It wasn't entertaining. It wasn't slightly sympathetic portrait of Hogan. But what was the point, really? I can't say I recommend it. That's really not much to recommend. It was what I would call an empty suit of a film. Save your time. Well, there you go, an empty suit of a film. Interesting. Right, my little thoughts. Yeah, it does try very, very hard. I say it throws lots of faces at you. Some I recognise, some not so familiar faces to me, or some perhaps better known in the US. But there's plenty in there that I knew anyway. And obviously, when they do mention the names, and oh yeah, that's them, or that's her, or that's him. Yeah, I mean, as for Hogan himself, it doesn't always work. At times, he does sadly look very old and frail in this. As I say, he is 82, all credit to him, but I'm not overly sure if that's what the aim of this film is, to show him, to put him in that light. He's obviously getting picked on for most of the film, which is a little bit unfair. He just basically feels sorry for the guy. If you do stick with it, which probably some people wouldn't, there is some genuinely smile moments that make you smile, but it is hard to stick with. And but personally, I stuck with it out of sympathy rather than actually I was being entertained as such. Very awkward at times from an acting point of view, which is quite odd with some of the, if you think of some of the total years acting experience that's mixed in with this lot, or singing experience, or showbiz experience, if you like. But that's more possibly to do with the flow of the movie. It doesn't really flow that much. It's a bit all over the place and a bit from one scene to another without any real. I mean, there is an underlying storyline that's going through the thread of it all the time, but the scenes don't quite work. They don't quite fit together as Mr. Hogan goes from one small catastrophe that's harming his reputation to yet another catastrophe that's harming his reputation. The poor soul. There's about 2/3 of the way through. There's a Broadway musical sort of hinted at in this as well, and there's a knife. This is a knife song, obviously taken from his well-known, obviously, Crocodile, Dundee, and there's a routine about 2/3 of the way through this, and it doesn't feature Hogan himself, but it just sort of sums up the film in a sort of 2-3 minute sort of segment, which is, sadly, it's more cringy than funny. As I say, it did make me smile, but it did make me cringe a lot more. The best elements of the films were actually his early chats with his granddaughter on his phone, who's a lovely little actor or actress, or whatever you say, obviously in Australia. And she sort of made me smile, just how pleasant this little girl. She's probably not. She's probably a horrible little girl, but she was superb in this. And they were the sort of best bits for me in the whole film. And it is very hard to dislike this film. Because of the frailer, older stars, let's say, in this as well. I mean, some looked okay, some looked a bit their age, which is fair enough. You know, we're all getting on a bit, aren't we? But not many critics-wise and public-wise were very kind. A lot of them give them low marks, which is fair enough and totally understandable. As I said, it is a bit of a struggle. My score, yeah. Do I really want to give it a score? I mean, if you look at the Internet Movie Database score, as it was, what we had averaging there, I don't want to be any crueler than that. It's 4.9 out of 10. But I get to the stage where I'm not going to score it. I'm just not going to. It's one of those films that I do feel sympathy for Paul Hogan, and obviously did he need to do this film? I'm not too sure. Is he? You know, I'll leave that open whether he needed to do it or not. But I won't rate this. Sometimes I do that with these films. I'm not gonna give it a rating because I don't want to undo it and make it, you know, really bad. As I said, there was certain things in it that I quite liked, but it is a film that leaves you wondering why did they bother, and it's such a shame really, because it did have potential, as I say. I think there's far too. They got rid of some of the people in it. Got rid of a few of this. I think a bit more directed at certain things. I think it might have been better, but I'm not going to give it a rating. But you can see from those ratings there, it's not very well. It's not very well loved generally. But as I said, that from a sympathetic point of view, yes, it was all right. It was all right. It was an hour and 28 minutes. Knock off 5 or 10 minutes credits. It wasn't too long to suffer along with Paul Hogan, because you did get that feeling that he was suffering throughout, unfortunately, which I don't think is particularly the aim of the film, although obviously it's, as I said, it is based on the fact that he's getting some bad press, but it didn't quite work. Let me know what you think anyway, as I say, but yeah, it's a shame. Anyway, thanks for watching. What we're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps have a flit across, have a look at my Citizen channel, my football channel. I only ask one thing, stay safe everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.